The numbers are in, and they're not looking good for Democrats. Voters say they trust Republicans with the economy and with immigration. So could that throw a wrench in the left's midterm strategy? Joining me now to debate, New York City Councilman, GOP Councilman Joe Borelli, and Director of Research at Bustle.com, Jessica Tarloff. Thank you both for being here. Jessica, we're going to go to you first. Put immigration to the side for a second.
Okay.
Do Democrats have any chance when it comes to the economy when people are waking up this year with their bank accounts bigger?
Well, not everyone is. Some people are waking up without a job. We were just reporting earlier, actually on FBN, that Harley-Davidson is closing a plant. We know that there have been some layoffs, but generally speaking, I think that the GOP tax reform bill is great for Republicans and especially bad for Democrats because of our messaging on it. There is an elegant way to say to people that we are absolutely thrilled that you have more money in your bank account, but these are why Democrat policies are better, and we need to make sure that the top earners in the world are paying more of their fair share, that the individual rate of tax should be decreased in proportion to the corporate tax rate, which is where they really took that cut. So I think that that can be done better. But overall, the numbers haven't been good for us.
Okay. She seems to be ceding that point. I want to go to immigration right now, and I'm going to let you kick off immigration. Do you think the Republicans have the better message on immigration?
Well, the interesting thing is that in this poll, excuse me, people actually thought so. More people thought Republicans were trustworthy on immigration than Democrats. And I think it's because you saw Democrats sort of ceding some of their message. They had the opportunity. Republicans gave them an olive branch, offered them the opportunity to get one of their party platforms, 1.8 million Dreamers, to be given a pathway to citizenship. And instead of taking the deal, instead of working with Republicans, they actually stood in they basically took their ball and went home.
Jessica?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, that deal was complicated because it wasn't just 1.8 million Dreamers to a path to citizenship. It was plus $25 billion for the wall. And we know the wall is a huge sticking point, not only just as a talking point, but something that Americans weren't a fan of when they heard about it. But I do think if Donald Trump doesn't continue to go for things like his Muslim ban, for instance, and kind of lays back here, that it's not going to be great for Democrats. I'm curious to see what the effects long-term of the horrific shooting in Florida are going to be. I think that gun control will come to the top of the agenda, especially if you listen to the voices of young people like Emma Gonzalez, and they're going to be popping up all over the country campaigning against the NRA. So we'll see how Republicans deal with that. We saw a top Republican donor saying he's holding all donations until they do something about gun control. Trey Gowdy said he'll go for a bump stock ban. So that may shift the conversation. But the generic ballot used to be plus 10 to plus 13 for Democrats. Right now it's at plus 4, which is a shift, a bad one.
The two of you are in the mix. You are talking to the people who are in the know. How confident are Republicans with this change? How scared are Democrats? Begin with you.
With this change, Democrats, I think, still feel cautiously optimistic about taking the House. The Senate, much more difficult there. There are those who'll say we'll pick up a couple seats. I happen to not think that. I want to focus on making sure that our 10 blue senators who are in red states keep their seat. I would still think that we take the House, but it's a lot more complicated than it was even a month ago.
Joe?
Well, I actually think she's right. You know, when you look at the generic ballot, you see the Republicans sort of creeping up. But when you start looking at the individual seats that Democrats are targeting, a few in Pennsylvania, one in Iowa, it's tough. And when you look at the
California is a big one for us. There are a lot of Republicans in seats that Hillary won.
And more importantly, though, the 10 seats in the Senate, there's almost no way that the Republicans can probably lose. You're talking Donnelly, Manchin, McCaskill. It's almost it's going to be very difficult for Democrats to run a clean sweep on all of them.
You guys fought about as much as if we were discussing like who likes puppies.
It's really too early, I think, to get hostile.
And I love puppies.
And everybody loves puppies. Jessica and Joe, thank you so much.